Mike Woodley. It's a real pleasure to have you on. I was excited to have you on because you have a great topic, an important topic, and a new one for our listeners. Tell people about what you're doing.
Well, I gave you a call because when I really phased out of the broadcast business, I looked for something to get into, and one was opening up a Blockbuster or get into energy, and I thought energy was a better choice.
Probably a better choice.
Mike.
But, and all the things happening with energy, the reasons why it's becoming more and more important is electricity rates keep going up, and they continue to. And there is a push for renewables, and also people have learned that new technologies such as LEDs can save a lot of money and just make a bunch of sense. So I've been able to put together, kind of like you do with your team. I have a great team. I have guys that can figure out financing. I got people that can figure out how to do the grants and write very accurate grants to get the most incentives. And so what we've been doing is focusing with people to try to show them, find out, first of all, the solar or LED makes sense, and then get their information, and then we'll do all the work, come back with them with no cost, no obligation, and then show them what the options are. And so, I got a liquor store in Hastings that's basically getting paid great incentives and a wonderful return. So there's a lot of things out there. It can be a farm, it can be a residence. You can do it. Payback's a little bit different, not quite as good for residential, but it's still there. And there's a great program right now too.
So, Mike, break this down for me a little bit. So, let's say I had let's just say I have a daycare center. Mm-hmm. I own a daycare center, and
Scott used to own a daycare center.
I used to own a few of them, and I was like, okay, I want to renovate my entire daycare center to be more efficient, energy efficient. How does it work from the beginning? How does it work?
It's really easy. You just basically make a phone call. We talk a little bit to find out parameters. I can do an energy audit to count the lights and come back with something and then show them how it would work out with rebates and everything. And the fact of solar, if I can just get generally an electric bill, if I can get a year of them, I can tell, fluctuating every month. And I can come back with something and show them. Now, there's things like there's a 30% federal tax credit. That's a big deal. But if you don't have a tax appetite, it's not such a big deal. And that's why I always try to tell people, I'm not looking to sell you the biggest system. I want the best bang for the buck. Mm-hmm. And it is out there for the right people. It's really pretty good.
Mike, what are you finding from objections with homeowners with solar? I mean, what is the primary objection that people...
The biggest one, if business owners and homeowners, is the price has come down in solar and the product. It was 80% more expensive in 2008 than it is now. So, I looked at that 3 years ago. It didn't make any sense. Well, what did your cell phone look like 3 years ago? I mean, it's really changed. Maybe even more so than the cell phone business. I got a return on investment for the liquor store guy in Hastings in less than 2 years. And everything on his product is warranted for 15 or more years. So no moving parts, no maintenance. I mean, it's kind of, if you're not moving and you're going to stay there, I don't know why people don't at least look at this.
So when I think of solar, and maybe this is really dumb, maybe someone thinks of like a lot of panels, Mike, and a lot of stuff on your home, and how does that affect things aesthetically?
Well, and that's why it's not for everybody. And I'm not saying that it is, but a flat roof on a liquor store, you can drive down Highway 61 and look at House of Wines, and you won't even see it on the top. It has to fit, and that's why I say, especially with residential, I'm more on probably the periphery of the Twin Cities, areas where they might have a couple of acres. They might put it on their shed or their horse stable or their even a ground mount system that almost works like a fence, a windbreak or whatever. It's pretty basic. And there is timing of these things. The one thing about the incentives of energy and solar in particular, it's if you get the incentives when they're best, it's a good idea. And right now, there's a Made in Minnesota solar lottery that's available to the end of February. And it's a great deal. I don't want to speak too much inside talk, but if you're a resident, all right, say, Ryan, you wanted to put solar on your house, and we want to put a 10 kW system, which would knock out about $130 or more a month of your bill. Right now, if you're selected in this lottery, and you'd have a great chance of getting selected, you would get 27 cents in a bonus paid you for every kilowatt hour you produce every year for 10 years. And in some cases, some of these people that are buying a $40,000 system, which sounds like a lot, but they're getting about $30,000 of it in that one incentive alone. And they're also getting a 30% tax credit, and they're also eliminating their bill, and they're also doing, some people are big on the environment part. I'm really on the green I'm talking about is cash.
Yes.
But there is an environmental statement here, too. If you feel good about that, you really can do both. And it's, like I said, not for everybody, but I encourage everybody, give me a call if you want to find out. Send me a copy of a bill or even talk to me. I'll do it all for nothing to show you what it's all about. And if you want to get in, you get selected. You still don't have to do it, but we'd like you to, and I think you're going to want to because there's a lot of great return there.
Through the state of Minnesota for real estate owners.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, there's two of them right now. And if you're an XL customer, Otter Tail Power or Minnesota Power, you qualify for this thing. And it's worth looking at. There's $15 million annually allocated for the Made in Minnesota Solar Lottery. Now, they're using panels that are manufactured in Minnesota, so that's good. Jobs are being created and things like that. We're using Minnesota installers and Minnesota electricians, so there's a lot of we are creating jobs. But if you get into this lottery, you have a chance of being selected. And it's for residential, with the panels, the amount differs a little bit, but about 25 cents per kilowatt in a bonus every year for 10 years, paid. You get your energy savings, you get your tax credits, you get plus that. Business owners get about 13 cents, which is still very good, as much as 18 cents in some cases, depending on the panel. So what I really encourage your listeners to do, and those that have businesses, and your electric bills in Minnesota have gone up about 40% in the last 10 years. In fact, 36.7% in the last 6 years. We also even have financing, even 12 months, no payments, no interest, build the whole thing, let them start paying you, and then you pay it off.
So again,
convenient.
I know a lot of clients from around the Twin Cities, outside the metro, whether you are a business owner, investment property owner, a homeowner, and you're interested in this, Mike, really it is a nice opportunity to at least explore it, see what it's all about, see how it can work. And again, you had talk a little bit about, I saw an article online, a picture with you and one of our senators.
Al Franken.
Al Franken, a nice photo. It was nice to see you, Mike, in the photo as always.
Smiling face. Yeah. Well, it was nice. I mean, one of our farms really, it seemed like farmers get the whole depreciation, 1079. There's a lot of things out there right now, Section 179. There's things like that are out there. Well, Al Franken's office chose my customer, Jerome Walsh, out of Rochester, as the example of a Minnesota small farmer that benefited from the USDA REAP program. Now, that's a 25% cash grant, by the way, that we got, for the customer, plus a 30% tax credit, plus all the other energy savings. And it was nice. I mean, again, he picked our guy. He could have picked anybody, but it was our guy. And that's because our team is good. Our installers are good. It takes a while to build a team. I mean, you weren't as big as you are 10 years ago as you are now because you got the right people, and we got the right people. It took a while, but we got the right people. There's solar companies that are trying to come in from out of town right now, and there's a lot of things to be aware about. They're not all bad, but there's some little things that they don't tell you about. Mm-hmm. And we'll pass the test on what they need to know. And you don't want to just write a check for $35,000 to somebody and they'll say, when we get 10 full projects, we'll come back and build yours. Well, that's what I'm hearing from some of these out-of-town guys. That isn't how you work.
How about, again, before the break, you mentioned for existing homeowners or for businesses, resale value. What do you see with that, and what are your thoughts?
I'm getting calls from real estate agents about this because, if I put it on and I want to sell my house in 8 years, well, let me just break it down simply. If you're selling a home and one of them has a $300 a month electric bill and one of them doesn't, is that something that you would use as a tool in selling the home or in marketing the home?
Sure.
That's exactly really what this is.
Mention what that is for people.
Well, there's a Made Minnesota Solar Lottery, and there's also Solar Rewards, another program. And I would encourage, give me a call or go through the show site to get in touch with me. All I need is a little bit of information, and I'll put together some really good things. I'll even show you what the panels will look like on your roof. I can do that with my software. You get live data monitoring if you get this, so you can go on your smartphone, and I could show you what something's doing at this very moment.
That's cool.
It is cool. And again, with financing is there, everything's there. Just give me a call either on my cell, which is 612-386-0082, or you'll get in touch with us. We're good people, and we're going to steer you right. And a lot of customers, talk to my customers. You can talk to all of them. They'll be happy to hear about it.